So I'm on the water, I want to change from a floating line to a sinking line. How am I going to do that? So I'm sitting here on the lake. I've been fishing the indicator for a while. It's not been working. I'm decided to change to a sinking line. It may seem almost impossible to do this on the water, but it's not as hard as you think. Let me show you how. So the challenge with changing a line on the water is threading the rod. Now to some you may think, well, just cut the flies off, reel everything in, change the reels, but then how are you going to thread it? You might decide, well, okay, I'll put the rod on my swim fins and just pass it along like this. Or maybe I'll break the rod at one of the sections, pass it along, bring the other section in, thread it through, put it all back together. Those methods will work, but they're risky. And if you fumble the rod or drop the tip section, you could have an expensive teachable moment on your hands. I've got a much easier and safer way. So in order to make life easier with this line change, there's a couple of tools that'll help. First, it's a wooden clothes peg. We'll come back to that in a second. The other thing is a plastic keychain, umbilical cord I call these. You get these at any home improvement or hardware store, and anytime you take your hands off your rod in a float tube, in a pontoon boat, it's always a good idea to use this umbilical cord to hold the rod so when you let go of it, there's no risk of it falling into the lake. Next, if you're fishing multiple flies, remove any droppers. You only want the point fly. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to reel my line and leader into the guides as far as I can, ideally between the stripping guide and the reel. Next, I'm going to take the wooden clothes peg, open it, and peg both the leader and the clothes peg against the blank so it can't move and slide out of the guides on you. With the leader in place against the rod blank, the next step is to come in with your nippers and cut the leader right at the butt section like this. So now it's time to change the reel or change the spool. Everything's cut. We're going to reel in the excess line. We're going to attach our umbilical cord to the stripping guide. I've removed it from the reel and put it up here. This is just so the rod isn't going anywhere. I'm going to carefully and deliberately undo my reel. If you were using a spool, of course, you just pop the spool out. I'm going to take the sinking line in this instance that I'm going to use, put that into place. Again, slowly and deliberately, get that in place. Make sure the line you're putting on has no leader on it. So the replacement reel is on. Pull off a little bit of line. Put your glasses on if you need to, because you're going to do some knot tying. I've moved the clothes peg to the other side of the stripping guide just to give me some more leader to work with. And all we're going to do is pass the leader through the welded loop of the line. And we're going to do, it's thick butt material, 3 or 4 turn clinch knot. Pass it through the loop, give it a tug, cinch it up. You can come in and it's probably a good idea to trim that tag end just so it doesn't get caught up in the guides. And now all we're going to do is remove our glasses so I can see, remove the clothes peg, remove the umbilical cord. I'm going to pull off some line. And make a few false casts. And there you go. I have threaded the rod. Now, of course, you're not going to fish a sinking line setup with a strike indicator, but the goal, the challenge, was to thread the rod. I am now just simply going to remove this leader, store it away for another day, change up to a line better suited for the sinking line and the presentation techniques I want to use, and I'm ready to go. I have changed my line in a matter of seconds. Practice it a few times, it becomes second nature. So there you go. I put the sinking leader on. I've got my little woolly bugger here ready to go. I'm ready to prospect the depths. Hopefully I've shown you just how easy it is to change a fly line on a lake without fear of losing a rod, a reel, or a part of the rod. It's really pretty simple, and with a little bit of practice, it can become second nature. Hope you've enjoyed today's Outcast tip, found this a little helpful. For more information on Outcast and Outcast boats, please visit us on the web at outcastboats.com and be sure to follow us on social media. I hope to see you on the water.